mom is really good to start everything off with, right? Okay, guys, welcome to our very first Coffee with Bāeo. We're so excited to be starting this, and especially to have Emilie with us. We wanted to do Coffee with Bāeo as a time to connect with the community and answer some questions from you guys, but, you know, for us as moms, I think that we're constantly learning and pivoting and trying to figure out how to navigate this, you know, crazy world of motherhood. So we thought maybe this would be a really great space to open things up, hear from you guys, and then also hear from our wonderful friends, and just kind of, you know, see what they do, what's important to them as mamas. And our very first guest is Emilie. We're so excited to have her. I'm Sarah, of course, and this is
Anna.
And we co-founded Bāeo with our partner, Sarah, our other Sarah as well, who's not here today. Confusing. There's two Sarahs and an Anna.
You use initials at the end.
Yeah, we do sometimes. Sarah G, Sarah O.
Or I say blonde brunette.
But then when you actually like look at my name and it's Sarah O, it's like Sarah. And then for hers, if you like lay it out in an email, it's like Sarah J. So it just looks weird.
It doesn't really work.
It doesn't really work.
Okay.
S-O.
You're still working on that one.
Yeah, we'll work on that one. So Emilie is a friend of ours and also a fan of Bāeo, and she wore Bāeo colors today, which is just really cool of her, and not something. And her
I
nail
didn't do my
polish,
lips, so I probably should have done my lips, my toes. You don't need to see my feet, trust me, but they're blurred.
And Emilie is an amazing actress and a mother of two. I'm a huge fan. I watched her like religiously.
You're so sweet. You told me that the other
Once
time.
upon a time. I know.
Oh, you too?
So good.
When I first met her, I was like, is this going to be super weird? Like, I love you with Belle. I was like, it's like my favorite.
Same. We're actually just secret fans, and we're like, oh my god, we're gonna have Emilie on our show.
Hey, I don't care.
It's so nice.
Oh.
But so Emilie's mom of two as well. And what are your kids' ages?
Theo is the baby. He is going to be 5 months on the 9th, so he's like, 4 3/4 months.
Oh
and Vera is, she just turned 3 in March.
She is so cute.
She's such a peanut.
She's like a tiny little fairy angel.
She is. She's a fairy angel handful, but she's amazing. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Well, how's it been like? For Anna and I know the transition from 1 to 2 was like, it brought its own challenges in a lot of different ways. But what's it been like for you to transition from being a mom of 1 to a mom of 2?
I know I was thinking about this before, and I mean, there are so many transitions. Firstly, it's kind of like, it's just an organic transition. It's not much you can do about it once it's on the way. That you just sort of go with the flow. I mean, I tried to, I prepped my daughter from like day one. Like she found out, she was with me when I took pregnancy test.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So in the Whole Foods toilet.
No way, you couldn't wait
and
to
I'm like,
go.
Mommy's gonna tell you a secret.
Did she keep the secret?
Yeah, well, I mean, I told this was like early evening, and then I told Eric, my fiance, that evening. Well, I'm like, come on, tell Daddy. It was really cute, so she told him. But yeah, she didn't say anything before that, which was good. Surprisingly, because they're terrible with secrets.
No.
I'll be like, this is a secret. But, so I don't know, so she was like involved and was always excited the whole way. I think from talking to people, I mean, not that it's, unheard of, but I was lucky. She was excited the whole time. She was excited to be there at the birth because I had a home birth, and she wasn't like in the room. She could have been if she wanted, but she was playing with my mum. But she's never really lost that excitement. It's really cool. Like she's just really liking being a big sister. So that hasn't been too much of a challenge. I think that the biggest challenge is like just time management.
Yeah.
And trying to compartmentalize, like, where is the time?
Yeah.
When do I sleep? Mm-hmm. Because I'm bad about that too, of nighttime being like my time, but then the my time really should be sleep time instead.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing though. It's so cool to see them interact with each other and you know, how it's growing, like our love as a family. Didn't think that was a concern. I don't know if for you guys, was that a concern of like being able to love another baby as much as your first?
Oh my god. Well, first of all, when I found out I was having a boy, because my first is a girl.
I freaked out.
I cried.
Me too. Oh my god, I cried in the Trader Joe's parking lot. The grocery stores are thematic.
I was in Jackson Hole in a pharmacy when they called me. They're like, "Do you want to know what you're having?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're having a boy," and I was like, no offense to anyone, but I knew what it was like to have a girl, and I knew that bond. So when I found out I was having a boy, I cried. I actually took a video of me telling Peter, thinking he would be excited, and his face is not excited at all. I was like, "We're having a boy." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Not a girl." I was like, "No, we're having a boy." And he's like, "Oh." Now I feel terrible because I'm in love with him, but I couldn't imagine I was like, I don't think I'm going to love him as much. I don't think I'm going to bond with him as fast.
But also, I really think that comes from the fact that you had sisters. Like, I came from I was a sister to a brother.
Me too.
And we were super tight, and I think because you had sisters, you're like, you see that bond, and for me, I was like, oh, I want to have one of each because I really want that bond. Yeah.
Right. So we're always more comfortable with what we're familiar with.
What we know.
I think that's it too. I mean, I grew up kind of basically as an only child, but I've got two half sisters, like 16, 17 years older. But, you know, it was my mum. You know, my dad wasn't really involved much. So it was my mum and my sisters. And I always just had in my head, I'm having girls. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to happen. Like, not having any, like, boy hate. But, yeah. And then after Vera, like, of course I'm having another girl.
Right.
I mean, I even said, you're going to have another little sister. Just like, I just went there, you know?
You're like, we're trying to put it out in the universe.
How did she feel, by the way? Was she disappointed that it was a boy? Because Lila was devastated.
Well, no, she
Lila
wasn't.
was like, take him back.
She wanted to go.
She was like, I need a sister. Like, I don't want a brother. And then she got on our page, and she's like, fine, we're having a boy. And then she was like, you have to name him Christopher. And when I told her that his name is Jalen, she said, I will never love him. I will never play with him. And that's it. And
well, she definitely loves him and definitely plays with him.
Yeah, they're super cute
I will
together.
vouch for that.
But the crazy thing about that, no, she wasn't. So I'm like, girl, it's a little girl, you know. And then after, 10 weeks after 10 to 12 weeks, somewhere in there, when I'd got the blood work back from finding out the sex, that whole time, that whole period before I knew, she was like, oh, no, it's a little boy.
Oh, wow.
She didn't say that.
She thought it was a boy. Oh, by the way, she also was the one who spearheaded me actually taking a pregnancy test.
Really?
I had been traveling like in Europe a bunch, like super stressed out with just, I don't know, doing conventions or whatever I was doing. And I was pretty irritable. Like, I wasn't the nicest partner at that time. And, I'm like, oh, it's just got to be all this stuff. And then we're home. I get home after that, and we're playing, like, raspberries on our tummies. And Vera, who's never said this before, is like, there's a baby in there, Mummy. And I'm like, no. Not like we weren't planning, but we weren't like to the day I'm ovulating kind of thing. It was like, loosely planning.
My God.
And then I'm like, oh, haha, there's a baby in your tummy, baby in Daddy's tummy. And she's like, no, but there's a baby in your tummy. I'm like, And so we went to Whole Foods.
Okay, but then when you found out that you were pregnant and she had said that, were you like,
yes, and then she turned into boy. I mean, I don't know.
That's amazing. Her intuition is very strong.
I'm going to put her into psychic classes.
Yeah, okay. Yes. I love that. She may not even need them. She might just be like, Mommy, I know what you're thinking right now.
It's kind of crazy, but very cool.
Well, I think something that was so cool about you that Anna and I noticed is we invited Emilie to come to our lunch party. Emilie shows up with like a newborn baby.
Like new.
How old was he when he came to our lunch?
When was your thing? What date was that?
2 months. He was 2 months.
He was 2 months old.
2 months old.
I think he was a little under.
January.
No, yeah. So he was like...
Because he was December 9th.
Oh, so he's a month old.
8.
Or no.
5 weeks. 6 weeks.
Whatever.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Let's leave it. Instead of saying months, we'll say weeks because he was like 6 weeks old. Yeah. But she shows up to the lunch party by herself. Let me just throw that out there. With her little 3-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and your 6-week-old, and your stroller, and you're just like,
and
your diaper bag.
Looking amazing.
She like rolls in, and she's like, hi guys, thanks for having me. And you live like on the opposite side of town, so it always takes like 40 minutes for sure for you to get over here. If not more, depending on traffic.
It depends. It's like 20 to an hour.
Okay, yeah, 20.
Usually,
it's LA,
usually
so
20
to an hour.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes to 3 hours.
But we were just like, are you serious right now? Like, it's crazy.
I just felt bad because I was late.
No, it was amazing that you were here and that you were wanting to support, but also just like, I don't know, I just looked at you and I was so, enamored by you because you were able to do it all. You just sort of showed, I was like, oh God, my baby is 6 weeks old.
You're literally taking the words out of my mouth for you guys though. I'm serious. No, I'm so serious. But every time I think about you guys, I'm in so much admiration. You guys started a company, you've both got 2 kids, you both work, you both have, it's...
But I think even the point of us doing this is like I remember that's when I met you at the launch party, and I remember telling you,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and since then we are doing baby classes together.
Now I have a room here.
But I remember telling you that, and you were like, well, by the way, just so you know, getting ready, I was like crying and leaking, and the baby was crying. So I think it's so, to what you look like to the outside world is not necessarily what's happening.
Oh my God,
inside.
100%.
Yeah. And I know, like, we started a company, but most days it's a...
No, but what the story that we always like to share is that,
the first day.
The very first day. The first day, it just so happened that, we didn't have extra help that day. So
first
it
day
was
of what?
first day of launch, like the very first day. The day that our site went live and we were like, we have no idea what's going to happen. We've never done the site before.
And we had like 200 orders that we're filling ourselves, building the boxes, filling everything
We
ourselves.
were so excited because the orders had started coming in like crazy, and we were like, okay, now we have to figure out how to use the website, and we don't even know how to use the tape dispenser. Like Anna for sure got into a fight with the tape dispenser in the morning, and I was like, nothing made me happier than being like, that's your job. You have to figure that out. I was like, because we're over here doing this job. But the best part is that my daughter Esme was she came into our office in a fury. Like she came in and grabbed the filling that you get in our packages. She was throwing it into the sky, and she opened probably 15 bare faces and some lip balms. Like I have trouble opening them sometimes. So the fact that she had like, ooh, these open, and she just did it, and Anna and I were like, oh my God! And so we would like grab her and bring her to the room. Yeah, exactly.
And I had my 3-month-old, so like in between fighting with a tape dispenser, I'm like nursing and.
Oh my God.
And 2, we were like, oh, guys, should we order lunch? We should probably order lunch. But I think that's a really good point because, everything sometimes like from the outside world, things look really wonderfully wrapped up in a pretty little bow, but we're all just trying to figure it out, right? And motherhood is really gritty and dirty, and we're all doing it. We all know what's going on. You see a mom and you're like, oh, I get it. I get you. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. I see what's happening.
Well, also with social media, I think, right? It's like glimpses of time. And listen, as moms, we have these amazing moments with our kids that does look perfectly tied up with a bow, but in between, it's messy. Yeah. So with social media being so, relevant and prominent right now, it's hard to look at them and not feel like you're doing less, like you feel like you're not doing as good as someone else. You're constantly comparing yours, or at least I am.
Yeah, no, how do you not though? I mean, it's such an easy way to compare. It's it's even if people are putting, a lot of people are trying to put stuff out there that is more raw and is more real. You're still comparing to that because you're like, is that really real or is that like the fake real? No, because know there is that.
Yeah,
too.
You're like, does she have on makeup or is I know she said she doesn't have on makeup, but
like
where
how many filters
are
are on that?
If there's no makeup. House? Like I have the place in my house that has the great light, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take my picture and just focus, and I'm like, I don't have any makeup on. This looks great, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh wait, this is not like the same than what I just did.
Well, it's a highlight reel most of the time, I mean, and even if you're not trying to make it, you do. You're not like, oh, I'm gonna put like the crappiest picture of myself. There you go. Unless you're like really trying to drive home a point, I mean, I don't know. Plus with what we do, we act and like, they want to be hiring
Totally.
Not always.
Someone might see
You know,
that.
they're like, oh, she's not looking too good these days. You know.
Is that a milk stain on her shirt? Right around her breast area?
Is that a nipple or mole? I'm not sure.
I don't know what I'm seeing here.
But yeah,
well,
I think that's why we're doing this, and that's why I know
cool.
I'm so excited to have you as our first guest,
Yes.
because I do
Oh,
remember
so
that
excited.
moment. You walked in here looking amazing, like a superhero with 2 little kids, and you were like, "Here, hold my babies. I'm going to do the picture," and it was just so amazing.
It's a
to
perfect
see.
thing though to bring up. You know, 'cause it
Yeah,
is, it's
and
a
then when
struggle.
we talked for the first time, you were so open about being like, "Well, I was getting ready, and the baby was crying, and I started crying."
I think I also burnt myself with a curling iron.
Yes, you told me that.
Because I think I had the baby like over here because you're like, get away from the...
don't try that at home, kids. But also, I think, like, you know, the fact that you are so open and honest about how it really is, I think that's, you know, that's really important.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's important to put that message out there that we're all just sort of trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering these questions. We'd love to get to some questions from the Bāeo audience.
Yes.
So let's do that.
Okay.